Have you ever wondered about the clothing you wear, what the clothing is made of, and does it even matter? Thanks for dropping in today. This is Granny Doll from Doll Can Create. You can too. And we're day 22 of our 30-day, 100-mile life, 120 kilometers life challenge. And I'm going to veer away from food for a little bit here today and talk about wool. And yes, I am here in my rocking chair, rocking back and forth. I have my notes in front of me. And you all know, if you've been watching me for any length of time, that I'm really passionate about the fiber arts. So just to show you a couple of things I have. This is the current spindle I'm using. Maybe if I turn it this way, I show you. There we go. Really like this spindle. It has been a favorite of mine for a long time. You can see the Celtic symbol, which I am always drawn to. There it is. And this beautiful hand-dyed merino roving. Yeah, I absolutely love it. But whether or not you like something, and I'll show you my sweater, is not really the question. It's why. And as I pick this up, I dropped my stitches, so I just got to slide those back on. Why is it important? So here's my current sweater. Oh, whew. There. Here's my current sweater. As you can see, I'm working top down. There's variations in the color. There's some laciness across the top. That's kind of hard to see right here, but I think once I'm wearing it, I'll be able to see it. And I'm still spinning for this, and I will be dyeing more for it. But local. This was from Rampart Farm, which is, 40 minutes away from here, so not too far at all. And I'm going to try to straighten this up a little bit for you. This is kind of more of a vlog style today, so just to let you know. But why does it matter? So we've looked at food, we've looked at food resources, we've looked at some daily living things over the last 20 days. But let's think about our creative life too, because that is important, depending on what creativity you have and what is something you wish to be creative with. So sewing, crocheting, knitting, spinning, artwork, drawing, doodling, all of those things are part of our creative nature. But today, let's talk about the wool. So by looking at our local farmers, our local shepherds, small mills, we're supporting them in their life and in their business. It creates jobs in the local area. And I think more importantly, it keeps those local traditions alive. If we only support the big box stores, which I'm not saying is necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes you just need something and there it is. But I think it's really important that we help support our neighbors, help them to grow. Also, wool talks to me about durability and practicality. Wool is going to keep you warm in the wintertime. But I also know for a fact that when I wear wool socks in the summer, if I wear socks, which is rare, my feet don't sweat as much. They are more comfortable wearing wool socks. And they don't smell as bad. So not to get too graphic here, but when you were wearing acrylic socks in sneakers or other closed-in shoes, the acrylics plus your sweat equals stink. I'm sorry, but that's been my own experience. When I wear wool socks in these things, I don't get the same smell. So that's a bonus, I think. There's something healthy and comforting about the breathability of wool that does resist odors. It's also really comforting to work with, whether I'm spinning or I'm knitting, or even when I'm weaving. Once I get the loom warped, which can be kind of stressful, but the weaving itself is just calming, and it's stress reducing. And I think sometimes we need that, don't we? We need something to reduce the stress in our lives. So I'll just grab a hold of this other. This is an Ashford that I picked up at a store in Ottawa a number of years ago. Still use it. See, it's short, so it's easy to work with when I'm sitting in my comfy little chair here. Right. But there's also some spiritual and creative values that come into working with wool. It connects us to the land. It connects us with the animals themselves. And it represents a slower lifestyle. And I think we're all looking for that right now, aren't we? Something to slow us down. Knitting or spinning with wool, especially local wool, becomes, for me, a prayer, a grounding, which I have to tell you these days I need. With all the news out in the world, all the horrible things that are going on, I need to ground myself. I ground myself in scripture, in prayer, in song. But to keep my hands busy, it's the wool. Some of you may have heard part of my story before, but my great uncle in Nova Scotia had sheep. And I was really drawn to that. It was my lifelong dream to have sheep. I realize now how difficult that could be at my age. I am over 65, so senior heading into a new farm, I don't know. So there was a point when we had rabbits, and I kept some Angora rabbits so that I could create some of my own fiber. But that it kind of drew me into the animals, and watching my great uncle, Uncle Si, with his sheep, and how they knew him and how they came to him, and you could hear them chattering, bleeping out in the fields together. It warmed my heart, and it drew me into something more. So wool just kind of connects me. And I have worked with a few other fibers. I've had some sari silk in things. I bought merino roving that had silk in it. Mind you, that's not local by any stretch of the imagination, although purchased through a local merchant. So still supporting that local person, which is important. As we tie things into this 100-mile life, my GrandmaCore aesthetic of making things for the home and making things for myself, I really am quite aware. Now, I got a big box of fiber in the mail last week, and in another video this week, I'm going to take it all apart and show you what I got. It's all produced, except for one, I think, two maybe. Most of it's produced locally or within 100-mile of, say, Toronto. But some came from the Canadian Woolen Mill, which is out in Alberta. And I do think that some of it has a little silk in it, so that wouldn't have been produced here. But I was supporting a local business, and I'm going to be really excited to share this box with you. So my question to you, do you own any woolen garments? And have you worked with wool yourself? And what has your experience been? I know some people don't like the roughness of some wool, but maybe you're working with a breed that's overly rough. Because there are some meat breeds especially can be very rough. Excuse me, depending on what you're getting. for me, the sweater that I'm working on is Blueface Leicester, and I believe it's a blend with something else on her farm. And it's fuzzy, but it's not scratchy. So you really have to play around with different breeds, and there's different breed studies you can do to try spinning different breeds to find out which one feels best in your hand. What do you want on your hands for mitts? What would you like for a hat that wouldn't matter if it's a little bit scratchy, but fuzzier to keep the winter wool out? Let's try to keep things local as we can. Keep it sustainable, because sheep farming is sustainable. There's sheep, there's alpaca, there is llama, which is a little bit coarser, but if you're weaving rugs or crocheting a mat for the floor, alpaca would be good. Some of the coarser breeds would be good. There's all sorts of different things there. But I think to finish up today in our 100-mile life on day 22, I want you to think about the clothing you wear and what you're grateful for. The clothing you wear and the things that you can give thanks for. So maybe next time you're in the thrift stop looking for a new piece of clothing, look to see if something's been hand knit, because oftentimes they end up there. They may not be wool, but they've been hand knit. Also look for clothing items that are made with linen, 100% cotton, which I kind of get iffy about. Linen too is intensive as far as creating things, but it's a natural fiber. And natural fibers just feel so good. A felt hat even would be, like my Tams are felted hats. So look for something like that, but find something that you can say, I am so glad I found this. I am thankful that I have hand knit socks to wear. I am thankful that I have a stash that allows me choices, both in my sewing from handed down fabrics to handed down yarns, things like that. And before I leave, I can't reach. There it is. I will show you. This is sock number 2. So I've turned the corner. Yay me. I like turning the corner. So this is not 100-mile fiber yarn. It's merino nylon, but I hand dyed it. So the colors were from what I had, and that's grape Kool-Aid, which I really like. They almost still have a hint of grape smell in it, but I'm enjoying that. So these are the things that I'm working on right now. I have more things I'm working on that I'll show you another time. But I am thankful that you're here. And if you like these kinds of videos that I'm sharing on this journey, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on my blog, because I do a write-up that goes along with each of my videos. But for now, have a wonderful day. I trust that your stitches, in whatever form they are, will fall into place as you give thanks. God bless. Till next time. Bye for now. This is Granny Doll.